The T-64 is a Cold War oddity. Designed by the Kharkov Tank Factory in Ukraine, the 40-ton vehicle represented a huge improvement over existing T-55 and T-62 tanks when it entered service in the mid-1960s. Development of the T-64 main battle tank commenced in 1954, and first production tanks were delivered to the Soviet Army in 1963. Over 6,000 of these main battle tanks of all versions were built. Some sources report that 13,000 T-64 series tanks were built. During its introduction, the T-64 was a very advanced tank, but had a number of significant drawbacks. Currently, it is in service with Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Transnistria, Donetsk People's Republic, and Luhansk People's Republic. In this video, we are going to take a closer look at the T-64 and the new modernization T-64 BVK tank. Before we get started, if you do enjoy this video and would like to see more just like it, remember to give us a like and subscribe to our channel to get more sent straight to your notifications. The T-64 main battle tank was known as the T-72 to Western intelligence agencies for several years, even before the public advent of the T-62. Then, in 1977, a new Soviet tank was identified, and the confusion began. At first, it was thought the new tank was a variant of the older model, but then, as more information and clearer photographs were obtained, the differences became obvious. The old model tank had 6 small dual road wheels that were made by a stamping process. The new tank had 6 large, die-cast dual road wheels with 3 return rollers. The old model tank was reclassified by NATO as the T-64, and the new model was called the T-72. The T-64 is a Soviet second-generation main battle tank introduced in the early 1960s. It was a more advanced counterpart to the T-62. The T-64 served in tank divisions, while the T-62 supported infantry and motorized rifle divisions. It introduced a number of advanced features, including composite armor, a compact engine and transmission, and a smoothbore 125mm gun, equipped with an autoloader to allow the crew to be reduced to 3, so that the tank could be smaller and lighter. In spite of being armed and armored like a heavy tank, the T-64 weighed only 38 tons. These features made the T-64 expensive to build, significantly more so than previous generations of Soviet tanks. This was especially true for the power pack, which was time-consuming to build and cost twice as much as more conventional designs. Since 2014, upgraded Ukrainian Army T-64 tanks saw combat during ongoing military conflict in Ukraine. The tank had improved armor protection compared to the previous Soviet tanks, and the first Soviet tank to use ceramic composite armor. It is fitted with nuclear, biological, and chemical protection and automatic fire suppression systems. The T-64 BVK tank is the latest modernization and a command variant of the T-64 BV. So before we look at this modernization, let's first take a closer look at the T-64 BV. In 1985, production of the upgraded T-64 BV commenced, which featured enhanced anti-radiation protection and add-on explosive reactive armor. This tank is nearly 9.25 meters in length, just over 2 meters in height, almost 3.5 meters wide, and weighs in at 42.5 thousand kilograms. The T-64 BV is armored with a 125mm 2A46M1 smoothbore gun. One 7.62mm coaxial machine gun is mounted to the right side of the main armament. A 12.7mm NSVT machine gun is mounted on the top of the commander hatch, which can be aimed and fired from within the tank. 2 banks of 4 smoke grenade dischargers are mounted to the left side of the turret. The T-64B's 125mm cannon can also fire the anti-tank guided missile AT-8 Songster, Russian designation 9K11 Cobra. The AT-8 Songster could be used to engage heavy armored vehicles at a maximum distance of 4,000 meters. It also has a single heat warhead and can probably penetrate at least 600 millimeters of steel armor, but cannot penetrate Chobham type and explosive reactive armor. The T-64 BV can fire a maximum of 4 AT-8 Songsters per minute. This tank normally carries 6 AT-8 Songsters, plus 36 rounds of 125mm ammunition. The layout of the T-64BV is very similar to the Russian-made main battle tank T-72, with the driver at the front, fighting in the center, and the power pack at the rear. The T-64BV is fitted with the Contact 1 reactive armor, which covers the glacis plate, the forward part of the turret front, sides and roof, and hull sides extending to the 6 road wheels. The tank is motorized with a diesel liquid-cooled engine 5 TDF, developing 700 horsepower at 3,000 RPMs, coupled to a hydraulically assisted transmission, with 7 forward and 1 reverse gear. The T-64BV suspension, on either side, consists of 6 small dual road wheels with the drive sprocket at the rear, idler at the front, and 4 track return rollers, which support the inside of the double-pin track only. The first, second, fifth, and sixth road wheel stations are provided with a hydraulic shock absorber. The T-64BV can run at a maximum road speed of 45 km per hour, with a maximum cruising range of 600 km. One infrared searchlight is mounted on the left of the 125mm main armament of the T-64BV. There are either 2 or 3 boxes of 12.7mm ammunition mounted on the left side of the turret. A snorkel is carried on the top rear of the turret. Standard equipment of the T-64BV includes a nuclear, biological, and chemical system, infrared night vision equipment for the commander, gunner, and driver, ability to be fitted with snorkels for deep fording, and a laser warning device. The tank is also fitted with a laser rangefinder and a ballistic computer with sensors. On November 30th, 2021, state-owned conglomerate Ukroboronprom announced on its website that the upgraded package of Ukraine's T-64BVK had successfully completed an initial round of tests. Kharkiv Armored Plant Director Herman Smetnin said the upgrade is necessary not only to significantly improve the existing technical characteristics of the vehicle, but also to create all the appropriate conditions for effective control over a tank unit. As explained by the manufacturer, this was the first time a deep modernization of this type was carried out in Kharkov. The main difference from the old models was the replacement of the Soviet-style radio equipment with imported systems. In total, 3 new radio stations were installed, 2 VHF bands and 1 HF band. An additional power unit with a capacity of 3 kilowatts was installed, which provides an autonomous power supply. In addition, the tank received 3rd-generation observation and aiming devices. In particular, the TPN-1 solid waste thermal imaging tank sight, the TVNE 4BUM driver's day and night vision observation device, the TKN ZVUM commander's day and night vision observation device, CH-4215 satellite navigation equipment, and other improvements. The modernized T-64BVK tank received a monitoring system for the rear hemisphere, a commander's cupola with enhanced protection for the NSVT machine gun, and a surveillance camera. Protected rear-view mirrors were installed on the tank, protection of fuel tanks was strengthened, and the front of the turret was covered with rubber metal shields. Lighting devices were also replaced. Currently, the plant is working on modernization of a whole batch of T-64 tanks, but with one caveat. They carry out similar work, but not a similar modernization. Analysts say that the T-64BVK's tactical performance is superior to the T-72B3M, even higher than the Russian T-90K. Ukraine is currently the only country to field the T-64 tanks in meaningful numbers, with it serving as the country's primary battle tank. The T-64's revolutionary design was used as the basis for development of the T-72 and T-80 tanks. The former, which was much more widely used and exported, was 40% cheaper to produce, and the latter, which was heavier and used new engines better optimized to extreme climates. Like the T-80, the T-64 was never exported during the Soviet era and was reserved exclusively for the country's own armed forces. Although its cheaper counterpart, the T-72, proved highly capable against Western-built tanks in the hands of expert clients. The T-64 was notably considered less cost-effective to operate than its successors, due to its high maintenance needs, and was retired by Soviet successor states that inherited them, with the exceptions of Ukraine and Uzbekistan. The Ukrainian army inherited 2,100 T-64s from the USSR when the superpower collapsed, alongside approximately 1,000 T-72 and 300 T-80 tanks, as well as around 3,000 older T-55 and T-62 tanks. Ukraine has the largest tank force in Europe, and the T-64 forms the overwhelming majority of Ukrainian tank units, with an estimated 720 in service, alongside approximately 100 T-72 and 5 T-84 tanks, making up around 90% of Ukrainian armor. There are also almost 600 more T-64s currently in reserve. Modernization of the Ukrainian Army's tank units has centered around upgrades to the T-64, which has provided a much cheaper alternative to production of new T-84s. What do you think of the modernized T-64 BVK? Are there any other feats of engineering you'd like to see us cover? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel to get our latest videos straight to your notifications. Thanks for watching.